It's just too far away. As you improve and advance in the ranks, the field expands from the once solid ground to the uncharted sky, and aerials become instrumental when composing a beautiful play with a beginning, middle, and end, finishing with an explosive finale. Foundational is the aerial, in such a way that you could build upon it. No matter your playstyle, be it a passer, striker, goal saver, or solo playmaker, aerials will take you higher. What a beauty this branch truly is. Its roots are embedded to the core of what can actually be achieved and transforms what was once a silly concept of car soccer into something different. Something new, something untold, something that hasn't been seen before. Every aerial could supersede itself into an art form, and by tapping that vein, we too can see our potential and grow. Heyo everybody, hope you're all doing well. If you couldn't already tell, I love aerials. There's something about them that is just so fun and feels fluid that I take to the air any chance I can get. Yeah, they're pretty cool. This video is actually inspired by recent events that were a long time coming. Story time. So there I was, just running around in free play, not getting any better, when I thought to myself, I can't really air roll. Oh, we could kind of tell. Let me clarify and say that it's not that I don't know how to use air roll. I do. See, I'm doing it right here. I know what it looks like. But for far too long, I've only been doing this, using a DAR, Directional Air Roll button. I've assigned it to square and use air roll right, like a normal person. This has brought me a great deal of success in many things, such as air rolls, coaster twists, half flips, tornado spins in the air. Those are the same thing, orientation, aerial adjustments, and although this has done me a lot of good and brought me up to champ, I've always felt like I was lacking in some way for never dedicating myself to using a NAR, normal air roll. I'm coining these! I think there's a tremendous amount of value to be gained from learning how to use a NAR in tandem with a DAR, so that's what I set out to learn, and what I came back with was... It doesn't matter what you use! Perhaps it's just the fact that I have more practice with a DAR, but anything a NAR can do, a DAR can do better. Roll? Check. Coaxers? You betcha. Can't even tornado spin, but he can. Anything NAR can do, DAR can do better. Oh, this joke sucks. Editor, cut this. You got it. After a week of consistently practicing, I saw a lot of improvement in my NAR usage, but I was still killing it with my DAR. Probably better than before I started making this video too. If you're the type of person who solely uses a normal air roll, I've got one thing to say to you. Gnarly. Like I said, I still think it's useful to learn how to use a normal air roll. More tools in your kit just means you're more prepared for any given situation. I'm just not the best with them, and I'll probably just stick to using them for wave dashes. So, is that it? Is that the end of the video? What? No, get back here! While I was out on the doomed task of learning how to use a NAR, I practiced and studied aerial control a lot more than I intended to, so I still have goodies for you guys. Is this video a tutorial? Yeah, we'll call it a tutorial. As for the rest of the video, I'll be talking about my experience, the materials I've used to improve, and what I've learned or noticed along the way. So stay a while, don't turn that dial, let's learn how to fly in style. My name is Mattal, and this is how to improve aerial control without a bounce. So where do we start? Well, let me tell you. In order to better your aerial control, I recommend beginning with the basics and taking the pillars in free play. Although, in this case I'm using an exhibition match for cinematic purposes, so don't mind me. I've mentioned this before in my previous tutorial, which you guys should check out, link is in the description, but this map is great for performing figure eights while isolating portions of air control. As for me in this instance, I was focusing in particular on two things. One, I wanted to try and make the turns without holding my directional air roll. I could only use my normal air roll, which didn't go all that great. And two, I wanted to constantly roll my car, which must have had the driver inside sick for his life. This is a very weird feeling to get used to. You have to press a button and then put the stick in a spot and then combine them, and it's confusing. It's just too much! Except not really. If you're anything like me, and if you are, I'm sorry, I promise you'll get used to using normal air roll a lot more with practice. Turning while you're non-stop rolling actually... What? Turning while you're non-stop rolling actually isn't all that bad to learn when you know what you're looking for. It's important to come prepared though. Prerequisites. Prerequisites? I struggle. You need to have a good sense of how your car moves and turns in the air, no matter its orientation, being able to react by catching or correcting yourself. Simply put, you need to understand your car. Like how it thinks and feels? No! Sure, it's easy enough to tell which way your car goes when it looks like this. Left is left, right is right, forward is forward, math is math, you get the idea. But turn your car sideways and... right is forward? Back is right, forward is left, left is back, math is still math! If this takes your head for a ride, you begin here. Damn it. My everlasting suggestion is to go to free play to practice this. How does one practice this? Well, I'm glad you asked and that you're paying attention. You get participation points for the day. Hey! This counts towards your final grade, sit up. Once you load into a map, move on over to a goal, line yourself up, and fly to the other net. Start off normally, moving left, right, back, front, cha-cha, real smooth, and get a feel for the controls. When you're comfortable with that, try doing it backwards. The controls will be swapped, but the same learning process applies to any direction you're facing. You just need to take it slow and train your brain how to function when you're facing a different way. Take the time to figure out what brings you left, right, all that good stuff, and practice going sideways as well. It's not fun, but part of the process. Allow me to clarify and apologize in advance. There is no magic trick to getting this instantly. However, I'd argue that practice is kind of magic. You may not notice it right away, but you will when you look back and see all the progress you've made. Shut up, nerd! Hey, I'ma fight you. Now that you guys firmly grasped how your car moves in the air, let's talk about adding rolls. For these examples, I'll be air rolling left, so my comments will be in reference to that. If you're using a NAR, you're largely limited to two movements, which are rolling and cooks or twists. These will be enough to get the job done, but they're not as fun. More on that later. Rolling is self-explanatory. You use it to look impressive and give yourself opportunities to make quick adjustments, I guess. Your nose should be pointed up to keep your speed and orientation leveled, but as turns are needed to be taken, you start doing twists. Cooks or twists will angle your car, and depending on where you put your stick, you can start to head in different directions. Placing your stick southwest will angle you this way, northwest angles you that way. Fun fact, I was going to say you'll head left or right based on your stick positioning, but as it turns out, you can turn both ways depending on how you time your boost. Quite reliably, you'll head left or right based upon stick positioning, but technically speaking, it's not 100% accurate, so yeah. Angles! When your twist points you in the direction you want to be heading, you cancel it by returning to a normal roll. The process looks like this. Roll, adjust, point, fly, repeat, profit. You see these? The nose and hood? Pay attention to these. These are your compasses. Remember when I told you to learn how your car reacts when it's facing different ways? Oh my god. Yeah, it's coming back right now. The reason why understanding how your car moves when it's doing all sorts of crazy stuff is such an important skill is because you need to know how to manipulate it and react accordingly. The nose is a good indicator for where you'll be heading when you boost, and the hood tells you how to time your stick inputs to correct the direction. I'm generally pulling my hood into the direction of where I want to go, so when it's here and I want to go here, I'll give the stick a few love taps this way. When you put this all together, you can roll until your heart's content and make fun of your friends because they didn't watch this video. But also, if you have friends, that's a great thing, and you guys should include each other in your endeavors. Do your best not to neglect your friendships. Share this video with them, talk to them about what you're interested in and what you're learning about it. Let them know that you're doing okay, and if you're not, then you should tell them. Someone will be there for you. Stay well, everyone. Now, let's talk about my favorite part, constantly rolling with a DAR. Oh my god, this is so much easier. Remember when I said NARs were not as fun? Yeah, this is why. Using a DAR comes with an added bonus. Not only do you get to roll and twist, but you can also tornado spin. You've unlocked a third bit of movement tech just by implementing an auto roll onto your controller scheme, and it works wonders! Constantly rolling is no longer holding down a button and a stick, it's just the button. This frees up the stick to focus solely on adjustments. Turning with a DAR is pretty similar to using a NAR, where you still need to pay attention to your nose and hood, except you have some more control. You can roll the car normally to flex on your friends, use a spin to angle your car, and twist to correct angles that fall out of whack. What's great about tornado spins is that they face you flat and straightforward in a direction much like this, where lefts are lefts and rights are rights. You still use a lot of twists, but how you do them is changed. Instead of holding air roll and pointing the stick diagonally, you now hold your directional air roll and push up or down on the stick to get the same effect. Kinda weird. So, roll for fun, spin to angle, cancel the spin to blast off in a direction, and twist to orient your direction again. While starting out, you're going to want to face your car upwards as a way to move slowly and progress smoothly. You're aiming for consistency above all else. Speed will naturally come as a result of your practice, it'll just take some time. You guys got this. When you feel like you've got the hang of spinning figure eights, you can take the next step to test your skills, which is... Let's talk about ring maps. Is that how you do it? Ring maps are fantastic in a lot of ways. A great deal of fun to play on, some look amazing, and they're a good way to evaluate your functionality in the air. But there is one shortcoming. They're only available on PC. If you're a console player, such as myself, this limitation could be a hindrance for your progression since we don't have access to the same materials as others. But that's okay, because I would like to offer an alternative. What I'm suggesting here is not a replacement for ring maps, but a good place to start for many. Acting more as a playground than anything, no longer are the days of needing to slalom on standard maps. I'm talking about the footage I've been collecting came from a training pack, the code to which will be on screen and in the description. This is the equivalent of a choose your own adventure. With no prepared route, you're free to make it up as you move along. It doesn't have the same polish as other maps, but it's assisted me plenty in practicing my aerial control. Particularly, I like to try and stay low to remain between the structures. The layout close to the floor is packed full of obstacles to try and avoid, but don't worry about bumping into them, nothing has collision. This is where I got to see my air rolling practice get put to use. The goal here was to continue spinning as long as I could, move about without bumping into anything, kinda difficult to tell though, and generally try and stay in the air. That last one's actually a good rule of thumb. If you get a little carried away or you black out and don't know how to orient your car, it's amazing how fast you can lose altitude and end up under the map. But there's no problem if you do, it'll just spawn you back on top of the arena if you fall through. My recommendation is just to have fun with this one and push yourself as you improve. Fly straight, fly backwards, use a NAR, use a DAR, just go wild. When starting off, it's disheartening to learn something new. It takes an active effort to get better at something that you have no prior experience with. And accepting that it may not take a day, but a few weeks or months will bring you much needed composure and assurance that you are on the right track. What was once a practice that required the entirety of your attention will eventually fade into an offhand understanding that needs no thought or concern. Bloomed and fully grown. And with those words, that's all I have for you guys. One take, okay. Thank you all so much for watching my video. I don't like that. Thank you all so much for watching my video. I don't like that either. Okay. Thank you all so much for watching my video. I put a lot of time and effort into researching aerials, writing a cohesive script, and editing everything up to my standards, so I hope it was clear and that you guys found something in it helpful or entertaining. To those who view my content, have subscribed to my channel, commented or liked my videos, I can't even begin to put into words how much all of it means to me as someone who puts a great amount of passion into their work. Far too often, it can feel like a huge time sink or waste of energy to try and get things the way I want them, like specifically. but to see people learn, laugh, and enjoy my creations is nothing short of a very deep breath for me. It's like a jolt. You guys are directly my biggest motivation when it comes to making content, and I'd love it if you guys stuck around to see what else I can do. I think that the next video won't be as intensive as this one, but please let me know what you guys would like to see. You're all so awesome, amazing, and another A adjective. As always, I've been me, you've been you, and this is the outro. Cool. Let me clarify and say that I fucking suck. I suck at saying lines. Let me clarify and say that it's not that I don't know how to use your roll. Up, tornado spins. Tornado. I think there's a tremendous amount of value to be gained. Oh my fucking god! I did it. I said tasked instead of doomed. This counts towards your final grade, so sit up. Why can't I fucking snap? Now that you firmly grasped how you're why are S's so hard? Why are they so hard? For these examples, I'll be oh my god. I don't read these lines. Wait, I didn't even read the script, dumbass. And they're a good way to evaluate. I wrote this song like almost 3 years ago. Be